Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
Years ago, I was at a high school football game. It was a tight game, late in the fourth quarter, right? Setting the drama here. Everyone in the stands is focusing on the scoreboard, the score, the time, the pressure. But what I found was interesting, what caught my attention wasn't the scoreboard, it was the sideline. The team that was losing was head down, coaches barking, players tense. The team that was winning, it was different, something different. They were laughing, slapping helmets, pointing to earlier plays, remember that catch, the block you had, so on and so on. They were enjoying it. They weren't just playing a game, they were reliving the good moments right there in the middle of the pressure. And here's what hit me. Both teams had talent, both teams had strategy, both teams had prepared, but only one team was feeding itself energy. Only one team was reminding itself, we're good, we've done good things, and we can do it again. And that team won, probably not surprisingly. And it wasn't just because of skill, it was because they knew how to savor the moment together. I thought about that game, that situation, recently when I was reading an article about a study. And now the study was about romantic relationships, but let's be honest, we don't have a business brain and a personal brain. We have one brain, and the way we experience connection, relationships, is consistent across the different contexts that we have, whether it's personal or professional. And so what works in marriage when stripped of the intimacy often works in professional relationships as well. And so what strengthens a marriage can certainly strengthen a referral partnership if we're willing to think about it in those terms. And what this study shared, and again, which got me thinking about this moment in this football game, is that by savoring things, slowing down and intentionally focusing on the positive experiences that we've had with our referral partners, just as with the study shares with our marital partners, we're going to have a better relationship. So, there's three ways of doing this. You can certainly remember the past wins. In marriages, there are wins. In football, there are wins. In business, there are wins. In referral situations, there are wins. And focusing on those wins is certainly one way we can kind of savor the moment and like this football team. Hey, we've done this. We can do it again. So savor the past, but also savor the present. What's happening now? What's happening in the present? My wife and I will talk about, hey, this is where we are. We got 3 kids. They're all kind of things are moving along for them. Isn't this great? We've got some wins here. And you could do the same thing with respect to your referral partners. Things have happened in the past and we're here now and we really are starting to understand one another. I know what you're looking for. You know what I'm looking for. Let's have conversations. Let's brainstorm. And then the third thing, obviously, past, present, there's future. Anticipate what the good things are going to be coming from the relationship. You can certainly do it in a personal relationship or a marital relationship where you can start to project a little bit. We got some money, we can slow down. We don't have to work as hard. We can take that vacation, whatever it might be. Sports, same sort of thing. That team, it's like, wow, we won that game, and who knows how far we could take this season. Same thing with respect to your referral partners. It's like, again, we get each other. We understand. When I go to an event and you're not there, I'm thinking of you and I'm talking about people. I'm thinking where I could plug you in, and I know you're thinking the same of me, and it's just kind of an exciting sort of a thing. The problem is that a lot of people treat relationships like a drive-through, right? You drive through, you pay your money, you get what you need, and you're gone. But savoring a relationship is like pulling over, getting out of the car, and actually looking at the view. Now, in the study, they used the term, and the study's magic phrase was joint savoring. In other words, two parties savoring together. It's not just about thinking about good moments, but it's actually talking about the good moments. Think back to the football story. The guys are, not sitting there on the bench and smiling, thinking about their great play. They're talking about the great play. They're laughing about tackles that happened, catches that were made. They're excited. In marital relationships, that joint savoring is, hey, wow, that vacation we went on, and how having that Thanksgiving dinner just came off perfectly. Everything came together. The food, everything, everybody was happy. It all, had too much to eat, lots of time to sit and watch football. Wasn't that great? And it's the same thing in business. It's just, it's not keeping it to yourself. It's saying, wow, you got me that referral, and I won, I won an award because of that. Isn't that great? That's joint savoring. Why does it matter? Because those moments, what they found in the study is those moments build connection. And because of those connections, it reduces conflicts and actually increases confidence in the relationship. We feel better about the relationship, whether they're teammates, soulmates, or business partners, referral partners. So in business term, what happens is there's more trust, right? And with more trust, there's less friction, because we're kind of bought in, vibing with one another, and the result of that is that there are more referrals. That's why we're in these. That's why we network for the most part. Lots of people who network, referrals, get a job, get introductions. That's why we do it. So here's this is key. Why does this work? Well, our brains are wired for threat, right? Humans have existed in a really tough time over the years. I mean, I'm talking the last 10 years. I'm talking over the last tens of thousands of years. It's been a tough time. And so the brain is wired to keep an eye out for threat, right? Not gratitude. So left alone, what happens is that conversations tend to drift towards problems, complaints, stress. Think about when, at work, you're sitting around the water cooler or the coffee pot and everybody's commiserating. You go to lunch and people are commiserating. I heard they're going to lay people off, and where am I in the pecking order? And I lived that world. I had a job, and there was a lot of that, and it was stressful. And that can happen in networking conversations as well. How's business going? I'm busy. It's tough right now. I don't know. We don't mean to do it, but we unintentionally bond over struggle instead of strength. Business-related joint savoring tends to flip the script. We start talking about what's gone well lately. What wins are we proud of? What are you excited about coming up? Again, past, present, future. So let's talk about how we can apply this. Again, we can build some past savoring, some past mutual savoring, if you will, and that builds credibility. Share a success story. We all have successes. Go ahead and share about those. Share about those to groups, share about those individually, but that savoring tends to elevate the mood, that past savoring. 2, you can do some present savoring. Appreciate the moment. I really enjoy these conversations. I love coming to this meeting. This group has been great fun for me. That's your present savoring. And then the future savoring, it creates momentum. I'm excited about what we're building here. I look forward to connecting with you. I look forward to having lunch. I look forward to our meeting. I can't wait for next week, or whatever it is. When it comes to business relationships, people don't just remember what you do. They remember how you made them feel about what's possible. They're excited about the future. They're excited about what's happened. And here's an important point to all of this, right? This is something that came out in the study. What the study found is that this joint savoring is the most powerful under stress. In other words, in marital relationships where they were really kind of going through a time, whatever it is, to take the time to savor the past, be grateful for what was there, and things are tough right now. It's been tough before. We'll get through it. You remember that time, that we had this situation and we got through it, and we're going to do this. That savoring is most powerful then. And that's the same thing in business. This joint savoring, is most powerful when business is slow, when things aren't going well, right? It's easy to win when you're winning. It's easy to have those feelings. It's easy to be happy when you're winning. But when things are slow and it's not going well, savoring keeps the relationship strong. It reminds people, hey, I'm here. The trust, the confidence. And when business is going well, savoring helps keep the relationship grounded. Savoring is like savoring is like putting money in the bank when times are good, right? Saving, so you can make withdrawals when times get tough. And you can make this a simple, actionable habit, right? Simple, actionable habit. Once a week, right? Just start doing this once a week. It'll become habitual, and it'll happen more and more and more. So maybe document you doing it weekly until it just becomes something that's part of who you are. But when you're in a one-on-one or a meeting, ask, what's something good that happened this week? What's a win you've recently had? What's good are you looking for? I have a chapter of AmSpirit Business Connections. They go around when they do their introductions. First thing, what was the win for the week? And people will share personal wins or professional wins, sometimes both. But it really it grounds people. We're all part of this, and we're all in this together. And oh my gosh, isn't that wonderful? Your daughter made varsity. She made the varsity softball team. And so when these things happen, just don't let it rush past. Sit in, savor it. Be excited for people. So think back to that football game, right? Two teams, same pressure, same stakes. One team stared at the scoreboard, tight, stressed, reactive. The other team kept replaying their best moments, energized, confident, connected. Here's the truth. In business relationships, most people live on the scoreboard. Deadlines, numbers, quota, problems, pressure. But the strongest relationships, the ones that produce the most referrals, loyalty, and long-term successes, those are built on the highlight reels, right? Those are built on the highlight reels. They remember the wins. They'll celebrate progress, even tiny progress, and they look forward to what's coming next. So here's the question, right? Are you building relationships based on stress, or are you building them based on shared moments, mutual savoring, joint savoring, something worth savoring? Because the people who win in networking, the people who consistently get referrals, they just don't do business together. They enjoy the journey together.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AmSpirit.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connections. All rights reserved.